It's just a blessing that this child has been found, and he's in extremely good condition. This investigation has been about a kidnapping. It has been about a 6-year-old child who was taken from his home in a very violent fashion. Now that that child has been found, the focus of this investigation has shifted to drug dealing, extortion.
Investigators say they believe that Cole's kidnapping was in retaliation for some actions taken by his grandfather. They believe that he stole millions of dollars from drug traffickers from Mexico. They want to know much more about that operation. They also are out there still looking for Cole's kidnappers.
Another arrest made just hours ago. The girlfriend of Clemens Tinnemeyer, Cole's grandfather, brought in on a federal warrant in Riverside, California.
I'm just glad he's safe and he's back home and in the right hands.
Now I want to make it very clear. The entire time that we were investigating this kidnapping, that's exactly what this case was about, was a kidnapping. As we progressed in our investigation, we've all heard the information coming out about the drug dealing and the people that are involved and all the other sidebar issues that we've been addressing. The investigation regarding this child is concluded. The remainder of the investigation shifts, and our focus now goes on to the drug dealing, to potential extortion issues, as well as other issues, certainly that are involved in this investigation at this time.
Straight out to Kai Plascon with KXNT News Radio. Kai, it is a miracle. This little 6-year-old boy taken out of his home, his family left behind, bound and gagged, has been found alive wandering the Vegas Strip. Tell me what happened.
Well, he wasn't actually out on the Vegas Strip. He was found on a side street. It's about 5 miles or so from the Las Vegas Strip or so. A very dark street, residential neighborhood, a pretty nice neighborhood for being as close to the Strip as it is. Apparently, he was there about 10:30 in the afternoon, or at night, and a bus driver was driving up the road, saw this little kid walking down the street, and he thought, well, that's pretty strange. I better find out what's going on. He stopped, and Cole asked him for a ride. Can I have a ride? And, of course, the bus driver said yes. He called officers who happened to be just blocks away conducting a SWAT operation, but 2 officers showed up immediately, found that he was in a great condition. He was taken to a hospital, found to be fine there too, and then delivered to his family.
Kai, I heard it mentioned extortion. Now, how does that figure in?
I think that's probably a better question for your legal experts, Nancy.
Well, what are the possibilities? What do we know?
Well, somebody was trying to get money for this kid. So we have a tendency to say that you know, this drug cartel.
What do you mean somebody was trying to get money? Explain.
Well, he was held for a ransom. So they were hoping to possibly get some money or find this the grandfather of this young boy.
You know, that's pretty bold to Dr. Lisa Boeski, psychologist and author, to steal from a drug cartel.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Down in Mexico, this is actually not that uncommon. I think that they may have thought, hey, let's do this. Let's find the grandfather and get these millions of dollars. But I have to say, Nancy, given the coverage you've done with Casey Anthony, I have a feeling once this kid showed up on your show and they found out the national attention, they were like, whoa, this is a bad idea, and they dropped this kid off.
Now, how did the grandfather weigh into all this, Kai Plascon?
Well, he supposedly was driving around, going to storage units where they had massive amounts of money. The FBI picked him up on Friday in the evening. They possibly had a bunch of storage units staked out. Here in Las Vegas, there were also storage units that the police served warrants on and found large amounts of cash. But apparently he was going to these storage units and collecting millions of dollars. He has been accused of using that money, laundering it for the drug cartel, Nancy.
So he was going from one spot to the next, reclaiming all this money?
Picking up this drug money. What I told you in the past is that often drug dealers, what they use, they collect very small bills, collect them in large amounts, and then they'll pay somebody to come here to Las Vegas with these small bills and put them into the slot machines and convert them into very large bills, which can be easily smuggled back across the border down to Mexico.
Sources state there was $8 to $20 million at stake, and this little boy kidnapped, apparently, until the drug cartel got their money back. Now, we heard Lisa Boesky state that this is not unusual in Mexico. What about it, Brian Reich?
It's very common in some South American countries and in Mexico. It's not as prevalent here, but certainly organized crime figures going after people's families, making threats, and sending a message that you're going to steal from us. We can reach out and touch you. And I think that was certainly part of the motivation in this particular case.
So, Kai, what's the next step, and where is the boy tonight?
Well, I'd like to tell you a little bit. He's back at home, as I just said, but I'd like to tell you a little bit about...
Well, is he with his mother or his father?
We believe that he's with his mother currently.
Go ahead.
Well, we have this tendency to think, okay, well, the drug dealers dropped him off on this street. He's fine. What nice drug cartel. What we haven't heard yet is what SWAT's involvement was in this, and apparently this was an extraordinary operation. Veterans of SWAT here in Las Vegas have never seen a SWAT operation this large. They said it was the equivalent to psychological warfare here in Las Vegas, where they had unbelievable pressure on possible drug dealers, the drug cartel here in Las Vegas, where they hit houses simultaneously, seconds apart. They were actually on 15th Street conducting one of these operations when Cole was found, so only a few blocks away. They put incredible pressure on this group, and the impression was that Metro wasn't going to stop. The psychological pressure was that they were telling these people in these houses was, you're not going to get anything for this young boy. There's no money there anymore. You might as well just let him go. And that's exactly what they did.
You know, there was one man we know still wanted, Jesus Castellan. What do we know about him?
They're not really telling us anything about him. They put out a picture out there and hope that we're going to find him, just like we ended up finding Clemens. The FBI is really out in front on this. They're the ones who are really making the arrests at the moment. The police department is just kind of putting the pictures out there and hoping we're going to find him.
It's our information, Kai, that the little boy, Cole, is now with his father. He had been living with his mother in the same home where apparently the grandfather who's involved with the drug cartel also had been up until May. That is not the case tonight. He is with his father. So there's apparently been a much needed, apparently, change in custody. And very quickly, Kai Plascon, last but not least, what can you tell me about the people that actually did the kidnapping?
Well, we don't know much about them at all. We don't know anything about them at all. We're hoping to find out in the future here from the FBI, from the police department, and from SWAT as they go through and knock down these criminals.